What if Eloise is in plain sight? What if we've already met Eloise before and not just in a flashback?
I already have questions about you.
I've got the whole explanation.
Oh, really?
I do.
Today, Mark and I are talking about the thrilling horror mystery show from Season 4, Episode 3, Merrily We Go, so spoilers are ahead.
I have a crazy theory about Eloise.
We talk about some crow-based theories.
And talk about the new arrivals such as Acosta, Randall, and Elgin.
Quick shout out to our channel members. Thank you so much for your support so we can continue making these videos.
Now let's get into the episode. Okay. I've been thinking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I know where Eloise is.
Okay.
And by no, I know people are going to come at me. I don't know anything. I just want to state that off the bat. I don't know where Eloise is. It's a theory.
We're just having fun. Yes.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
That I think I know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been thinking.
Okay.
What if Eloise is in plain sight? What if we've already met Eloise before and not just in a flashback?
Okay, that's
And what if
Yeah.
Eloise,
Does that mean that she's changed enough that her dad doesn't recognize her?
yes.
Or is he okay.
I mean, it's 40 plus years.
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah.
Or maybe not 40. I don't know. Some 30 to 40 years, whatever.
How old Victor is, I get yeah.
From that time to that time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
I think there is a lot of change. And I think it's somebody we know. We've met Eloise before. And I think she will be the key to getting out of the From neighborhood.
Okay.
So I've been thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
My mind has been racing. I've been trying to solve, why would you introduce Eloise? Why would there be all these clues about Eloise? And then why would you wait till the very, I know we have one more season and it doesn't seem like we're going to even touch on Eloise stuff this season. Potentially, it seems like we're really focused on the Man in Yellow. So why... maybe we might see her.
I already have questions about you. Nobody else has been around as long as Victor. So how do you explain that part?
I've got the whole explanation.
Oh, really?
I do.
Okay.
So what if when Eloise decided to run out that fateful night and we never found Eloise, maybe because she got out of the From universe. Potentially Miranda's last act as she was dying by the bottle tree was sending Eloise through the bottle tree.
Okay.
And we saw that when Tabitha went through the bottle tree, Tabitha was able to get out. And potentially different way, maybe the same way, maybe she fell through the lighthouse too, and that is how Eloise got out of the From universe. Now,
she got out, but we've seen her. Okay.
So, right. So now, what if, just like Victor, the memories of From are too traumatic that you just wipe out the memories of everything that happened.
Especially as a kid.
Without having the pictures to remember. And we've seen multiple times that Victor has forgot things in his life. Especially even having a sister.
It's possible that it's less of forgotten and more of blocked out, possibly for his survival. He might have... If he had to think about this when he was a kid all by himself, it might have shut him down. That might have been a survival tactic, is wipe the slate.
And that could be what happened to Eloise when she got out. That she completely erased all memory of that place. and lived a normal life till she became around Victor's age and then came back to From. And what if Eloise is Donna?
Okay.
Because we see that Donna has a person outside. What if when Eloise came back to the world, she has no memory of From, she is confused, she's dazed, she gets found, placed into foster care, lives a life, becomes Donna, falls in love, and somehow comes back to From. I feel like there's a couple reasons I feel this way. I think Donna is the only one that is around Victor's age that potentially could be Eloise. I think that Donna has been an integral part of the From series without really doing too much, right? She's like the leader of Colony House, but she's not Boyd keeping everybody together.
Right,
she's not a driving force of finding things. She's a voice of reason, but she is such a pivotal character.
She's huge,
and she's in every piece of it. She's in every important conversation. I think Donna is Eloise, who forgot, and it never came up that she doesn't have memories of when she was younger, because that's not important to why they're here now. She had a memory of living here and growing up. And I know it's a harebrained theory. I know that it feels that it's not going to happen. But I think that if we were to be told that that is Eloise, I think it would be satisfying. And Donna has always had a care for Victor that I feel most of the residents don't. Right? I think Donna treats Victor as like,
even kind of bending the rules for him, right? Because like you can't just go into the store and the food stores and get food, but Victor
is allowed
to, like, she actually sets stuff aside for him, those peaches, you know?
Why is she so kind to him? Why does she, and everybody else will treat Victor. I do think that the Matthews family is closer to Victor now, because at first they thought he was creepy, especially hanging out with Ethan. But then I think Tabitha and Victor had a very bonding moment, getting her out of the caves. And so now she has a respect for him. But most people don't seem to give that respect to Victor. But Donna does. And I think it would be a satisfying explanation of Eloise, because if you're going to just introduce a new character like Eloise, and we're not going to see her, and we're in this like 4th season, and we haven't seen anything about her. We're kind of focused on the Man in Yellow. It doesn't seem like she's going to be a big narrative plot in this season. Why would you wait to season 5 to introduce her? I think that it's Donna.
Interesting. It does feel like this show enjoys having some reveals that were like right there in front of you. You know, I think that the Julie story walking thing, you know, Dawn had the question as soon as Boyd was in the well and the rope went down and then he came out and he saw Martin chained to the wall. She asked the question of like, how did that happen? You know,
and then same thing.
And she thought it was kind of like plot hole. And then it was like, that's not a plot hole. That's a question that you didn't realize was a question. You thought it was maybe just like a little oopsie doodle that they did. And instead it ended up being an extremely important plot point that they then came back to.
Exactly. And that's why I just feel Donna has been such a pivotal character without really doing much. Like she's kind of been, I mean, like a sort of a Boyd-ish character, but like Boyd is like actively doing stuff. Like we saw at the end of this episode specifically, he's dealing with traumas of like, I think I asked in the very first episode, like, what is Boyd's purpose being here? Like Tabitha and Jade are people that came here. And like, I think this episode summed it up perfect. Boyd is his whole purpose is to make sure that the town stays together long enough that Tabitha and Jade can figure it out. And so, like, Tabitha and Jade keep coming back. They keep failing. They over and over and over again. And this time, they have Boyd that has kept the glue. He's had the talismans. He's created a bit of safety so that they can do it long enough to actually succeed.
Right. Okay.
It's a crazy theory. I know.
It's crazy. It is. So I do think that it is less likely to be correct. But if it ends up being correct, it is going to be quite the call. Like I love theories that are like a big swing. You know, It does mean that like they're often going to be big misses, but when you connect, it's going to be a big hit, you know? And I don't think that that's like out of nowhere either, because they do, they keep teasing this like Eloise thing.
Right.
So I can definitely see that as a.
So it's a crazy theory, but it is plausible. That's like, I wasn't like, oh, Fatima is his sister actually. And you're like, that there's no way. She's like too young. Right. She, like Donna could fit that role. She's around Victor's age. She cares for Victor. And if I were Henry and I was told by Tabitha, when I think my whole family's missing, and she says, oh, Victor's alive. When you get to the from world or wherever you call it, my focus is going to be my son is alive. Like, there's other people here that I can talk to, but in my mind, I'm not looking for Eloise because in my mind, she's dead. So even if I do recognize Donna as being Eloise, it's not going to click to me because in my mind, she's dead.
Right.
And she's great at hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know.
Boom.
I don't know if it's real. Probably not real, but. Let's
talk about ornithology. Let's get avian in this place.
I love ornithology. Let's talk about the corvids.
Corvididae? About the corvids. Yes.
Family Corvididae?
Yes. Yeah. If you don't know, corvids are like the smart birds.
Very smart.
Like, so first of all, and I'm sorry, this isn't about the show, but I really want to make friends with a corvid, because like I'm sure you've heard the stories where it's like somebody makes friends with one and then that person loses something, and then like their friend bird finds it and brings it to them, sometimes even like across state lines, or somebody trains one of them to like bring them precious things, and then all of a sudden and it's generally by like you being nice to them. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get one of these friends, because I think Avalanche, if you don't know my dog Avalanche, I don't think he's helping us form friendships, because he likes to bark at them instead. And I keep telling him like, we really want to make friends with one of these. I really want to have a friend bird.
Yeah.
But they're super smart. They can use tools. They can
problem solve.
So two very different directions with this.
Yeah.
So one direction is I have wondered for some time, like, are these the eyes and the ears of whether it's like the creatures in general or the man in yellow? That could explain why, the voice over the radio knows things that it feels like it shouldn't, is if like there's always these birds that are like spying.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that side, is like, are these the eyes and ears? And that could explain why the birds weren't there to greet the priest that came in that ended up dying right away, was because the man in yellow was there as Sophia and hitchhiked into the car, so she didn't need the crows to like witness a newcomer, maybe.
But with that logic, also at the funeral, Sophia was at the funeral and the crows came into the funeral.
So based off that logic, I think that Sophia was then using the crows in order to, like, the man in yellow is obviously taking a more active antagonistic role now, right?
Sure.
And was like actively trying to stir the pot. And that might have been part of that, is like during something sacred, let's have a disturbance that unnerves people, without having to like bring in a bunch of other monsters, like just to get them like on edge.
Sure. Like the locust thing, right? All the locusts showing up, creating a lot of anxiety. I get it. Yeah.
Yes. So that's like if they are an extension of the man in yellow or the creatures or whatever. The other side is, what if they are not part of that? And so like the reason that they weren't there for the priest was because like the man in yellow hijacked the system that like normally brings people in order to get the priest, so that he could so that he could take on this role of Sophia, a 16-year-old, so that nobody will, because like people in the comments have mentioned, not a ton, but some people have definitely mentioned the idea of like, if stuff really gets bad, the first person I would think of is like the newest person. Like, of course it's going to be their fault. But I think Sophia is the perfect role that nobody is going to think of, because Sophia isn't the newest person. It's Sophia and her dad died.
Right.
So it's definitely not him.
And it wouldn't be her either, because why would she kill her dad?
Why would it be,
a young girl,
dad's 16-year-old kid, like who's this helpless child of a so I think that was like the best role to take on, that makes it so that even though she is the newest person there, they're not going to think of, because it wasn't her, it was her and her dad died. So it's definitely not him.
And she had to be saved. Her? And she had to be saved.
Yes. She almost died. Yes.
She could have easily died in that. Easily. Like, we saw the thing right by her throat. One small move, she's dead. Why would we even believe this 16-year-old girl did it? That makes no sense. Why would we blame her? No, it is a brilliant disguise. Yeah,
and the way that she stirred the pot with Kenny was brilliant, because she asked a few questions to basically get him to insinuate, even though that's not what he was trying to insinuate, but it was via her questions, that the Matthews family. And then she gets to say, like, Kenny said this.
Right.
And then after all the like tension that comes from that, they're going to forget that message actually came from Sophia. And it's going to be like, Kenny is talking about this to brand new people?
Right. He thinks that the Matthews family and Jade are responsible for everything bad happening.
So she'll be the forgotten link in that, that like she technically stirred the pot, and instead it's going to be like Kenny, So brilliant.
And it was such a great moment, because I feel like Julie, it's such a great dichotomy in this episode, right? Like, so Julie had just lost her father. Sophia, they think Sophia has lost her father. And so Julie, as somebody that's like, you just lost your dad, I just lost my dad, like, this may be something we could like bond over and like talk about. And it's so great, because Julie, as a big person who is grieving herself, she brings the olive branch and is like, hey, like, I'm sorry you lost your dad. And Sophia never says it back to her. It's instantly the Hokia, the right in the. And so I know that there were theories in last episode that Sarah's going to be the one that finds out. And I still think that that's possible, because they're going to be living together.
Yes.
But I also feel there are machinations in place where in the first season, Sarah was susceptible to these voices. And now Sophia living with Sarah, I could see Sophia using Sarah as a scapegoat. Like, if all these weird things happen in this area, oh, it's Sarah because we know Sarah's crazy. And I'm just Sophia, who's a religious, pious woman. And I would never do something like that. But Sarah.
Yes.
She is dangerous.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm very interested to see where those little thread lines will go.
Absolutely. So the other thing I can see about the birds, which is like the exact opposite side of it, is that the birds are not an extension of the man in yellow.
Are they extension of the boy in white?
Possibly the boy in white. And so, you know, if the man in yellow like hijacked the system to bring in the priest so that he could have the perfect disguise, because like part of it is Sophia needs the dad who dies, who's a priest, you know? And so the birds weren't there because like they weren't notified that it was going to be used, you know? And so they weren't there for it. And so maybe being smart birds that can grieve, maybe at the funeral, like they were unhappy with Sophia's presence there because she did not belong. Like she was actually the murderer, pretending to be a grieving person, because she did give a little side eye to the crows. Now that could have been her playing the part of, you know, like, whoa, what's going on? But there was also like is it her being like, I'm trying to.
So I like where you're going with this, because like
they're two completely different theories. So
and based on that would be based on this theory. It also is who is trapping these people there. Is it a benevolent force that is stuck, that is trying to get people to fix the situation that's there, defeat the man in yellow? Like, are these people being trapped there not because they are trying to be punished, but they need people to help this area or figure out the mysteries behind this place? Or are people being trapped there deliberately, intentionally to be screwed with, to be messed with? And I do and like the idea. Clear. It's not clear. I think I lean a little bit more towards the crows are part of bad. A little bit. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it. Just mainly because, like, in the opening intro, there's a lot of crows. Like, crows are a huge theme in the opening intro from the beginning. Yes. And in the images that are drawn, they are drawn in a, like, menacing manner. But that could be to throw us off. So... yeah. And it's from the drawings, to me, are from the perspective of Victor, who might be fearful of the crows because the crows trap people here or whatever. So like it could be just our perception to be afraid, but also then Julie is also a very sensitive person, and you can't really read crow behavior based on, you know, you're mourning your dad's funeral, like it's but she does say it seemed like they were celebrating. So that it's a toss up, but
that could be because like she
read into it, like she saw what she wanted to see. So
I mean, well, like why would you not think that is such an inappropriate thing, you know? And then you are now anthropomorphizing, you know, on them, where it's like you think that they are taunting you when they are like, are they just birds or are they something else? And if they, so I can see that being like an easy thing. Plus it doesn't help that I don't think most people think of crows as like these great smart birds that you should want to make friends of. They're large, they're dark. The name for a group of them, a murder of crows, is definitely a very daunting name, which that one is a well-known one. I think a lot of people know that. There's still some people that don't realize that like animal groups have names for a group of animals. And one of my absolute favorites is a flamboyance of flamingos.
Yeah.
That's what you call a group of flamingos. All these birds have different names for the groups. It's great. I love it. So like, but that name is like menacing.
So I feel like you don't know the story of how the crow became the crow.
Please, no.
Oh my gosh, this is a great story. I'm surprised you don't know this.
Okay.
So, back in the day, in the woodland forest, there were all these animals, right? And out of all these animals, the crow was the most beautiful and had the most beautiful singing voice. And I'm saying rainbow feathers. The crow was a rainbow bird, beautiful plumage, beautiful voice, like the most beautiful singing voice of all the animals. Well, one day, the sun started to go out. The sun was just drying up of its fire and its power, and all of the animals were in danger of dying to freezing temperatures, and of course, no sunlight, no plants, no food.
That's the end of the world.
So they had to figure out a way to relight the sun. And all of the animals had no way to come up with this, and all were afraid except the beautiful crow, who offered to take a piece of fire from the land, like wait for a lightning strike, grab fire on a branch, and was going to take it back up to the sun to relight the sun. And in the process of carrying the branch in her mouth with the fire, the ash and the smoke turned her beautiful plumage black. And that is why if you look at them in the light, you can see the iridescence of the shine that they have. And also when she was carrying the flame stick, the smoke was getting into her mouth, and that is what destroyed her voice. And that is why she has the ha, ha noise that they make now. And it all because of the braveness of the crow do we have sun today.
That sounds scientifically accurate.
It is scientifically accurate. I was there. I saw it happen.
They're underappreciated. I love them.
They truly are. But I also do have a thing that might support you, that they might be good versus evil.
Okay.
Because there was another time we saw a crow. Do you remember the other
time?
During
the tarot card reading?
No, well, there was that one, which was terrifying. And you could even say that...
Terrifying.
Which also, so think of it, I wasn't thinking of this example, but it does, like, Tilly was reading Fatima's tarot.
Yes.
And there's a darkness growing inside of her. It could have been darkness stopping them to read the tarot, or something popping in to be like, this is dangerous. Don't do this. So that, but there was something we saw in this episode. There was another crow.
Okay.
And it was when we saw Victor crying.
Yes.
But who did we see right before then?
I don't remember.
The boy in white.
Yes.
And there was only one crow when that happened.
Interesting. And and those not only were like those scenes take place next to each other, but in the timeline they weren't far apart, because then Tabitha hears them calling for Victor.
Correct.
So they
And it did feel like that crow was like part of that, like, consoling Victor moment.
Yeah.
So that could be an argument for you, for them being good.
That could definitely be. That's a better argument for they are good, because if they are the man in yellow's eyes and ears, the first, they're kind of the extension of bad.
Sure.
Then he would know that Victor is remembering, and that's dangerous for his disguise.
Right.
And so unless we see him try and deal with Victor in the next episode, then that is much less likely that they are his eyes and ears. So I could see them as maybe...
They could be agents of good.
The boy in white's eyes and ears, or just like agents that he can employ in some way.
It does seem that people are being attracted to this place, specific people, right? Like Tabitha and Jade. You would think that if you were the man in yellow trying to be evil, You wouldn't want the people like Tabitha and Jade, who are the ones that keep coming back and remembering this place, to come back.
I do have an idea around that, though.
I mean, true, but I very much can see the argument for them being brought by forces of good.
I can see it either way. So because my justification for why like the bad forces might want to bring them in, even though they can potentially break the system, is I did have an idea that what if the thing that happened a long time ago where the children are sacrificed, what if that didn't go exactly the way it was supposed to? And maybe that was because of like the OG Tabitha Jade, whoever that was way back then, that tried to help the kids and ended up giving them hope. That maybe the thing that promised these people immortality, that it wasn't supposed to be a twisted immortality in this like pocket area, that it was supposed to be like immortality in the real world with everyone else, you know, like good immortality, not like a sick immortality. And what if the fact that like those two OG Jade Tabitha, the fact that they kind of screwed with things, that it warped the system. And so the reason that they keep getting brought back is because in order for like perfect immortality, they need some incarnation of them to buy in and like finish the ritual right, you know, like go along with it instead of trying to like buck it. And maybe Christopher was going that direction, because it sounded like he started to go down a dark path.
Right.
And so like that's why I can see that. But I can also see if that's not true, which that's a harebrained theory, so that could easily be wrong.
Yeah.
Then I definitely see the opposite of like there is a good force that keeps bringing these two back so that they can finish what they started and break the system completely, not just like partially.
Yes, but I do think that if the man in yellow is responsible, like if the evil force is responsible for bringing people to this area, you would specifically not want to bring the people. Like, he has the knowledge. We know that knowledge comes at a cost, and we know that he knows that they have this knowledge. So like it would seem to reason that he would know before they even got there that they would have the potential to have this knowledge. And so why it seems to me like if the evil was in charge of bringing these people here, and you want it to keep going and you don't want the system to like continue to break, getting these people there would not be advantageous. And yet they keep coming back. It's almost like they keep coming back because a positive force that wants this to end is bringing them back. And with their knowledge that they can hold on to somehow, they will be the ones to break the cycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
You know what I really like about this show? I like the fact that it has been taking characters that I initially didn't necessarily like. They're creating unneeded tension in a world that already is in the worst situation.
Yeah.
And so like your Randalls, when he first came in, it's like you are awful because these people are already going through the worst, and then you are
the worst.
You're
the worst person
being the worst on top of that, you know? And you're Danny Acostas who are making it harder for people. And that's not against the writing. Like I get that these people exist, and I can totally understand how people can react that way, you know, where like you see everybody like Danny Acosta, she sees everybody being kind of like complacent and like accepting this. And she's like, I want out, not realizing that like, yeah, that's what Boyd's trying to do. And all the people that live in the town are trying to find a way out. They're
tried a lot
from within the system of safety.
Yeah. And they've been trying for a long time. And Acosta, who just gets here and doesn't want to believe and just wants to try whatever she can. I mean, I get it. And boy, I was really kind of feeling for Acosta this episode.
It hurt watching her this episode.
I mean, and I do feel like her entrance into this area was so crazy. Like, she saw something that happened that she was not expecting. She ended up killing somebody. She let others die, almost sent Tabitha to her death. Like, she was terrible. Like, there was a lot of bad things that she did. And now, and she never like got the, like, most people when they come, they have to like do the go around. They have to be like, let me make sure that this is really a crazy place. And she just got thrown into it and never really got to do the experimentation of driving out and coming back. And then after doing that and realizing like what she's doing, she was ready to just take.
She basically got punished for doing what everybody else gets a chance to do.
Yeah.
It's like she needed her moment to try to get out, you know, like why should anybody take anybody at the word of like, you can't leave this place, you know, like that just doesn't make sense that if you go on this road, it's always going to come back. Like it feels like there's gotta be some way and I think that is something you have to experience yourself. And it was unfortunate the way it happened, you know, because like she didn't get that moment. And so when she finally did it, she did it by stealing a vehicle because that was the only thing she could do. And it's a vehicle that they needed badly. And so like it wasn't. But I do think that with this episode, I do think Boyd is kind of giving her busy work / like, here's something you can do that nobody else could do because of your experience. But I'm like trying to give you a goal to work towards so that you can have a reason to live. And I do think that is the main reason he is doing it.
Well,
however,
and she reminds him of someone, which
yes,
his wife.
I know that is doubly devastating.
That is heavy. That one I feel bad. I'm really feeling for Boyd after that.
But I do think that while this is initially being given as a way to help her make her feel useful, I do think it's actually going to provide fruit. I think that
I do too.
Is going to find something, you know, that even though it is kind of like busy work, that it is the type of thing that only she could do from her experience. And it is like right now, they don't need strong law and order. You know, Boyd has established a good system. They don't need the type of police that enforce things.
Sure.
But they could use a good detective.
Yes, they could.
And they could use good detective work.
I do think it's also going to be fruitful because the thing that Boyd said to her at the end, like, she's at the end of her rope. She's ready to take her own life. And Boyd gives that whole speech of like, you can make an effort. You can try to do this for us. You can maybe help us. And if you do, you would have changed the lives of all of these people. And if you still want to end your life at that point, then I'll give you a bullet. But if you do achieve something beneficial and good for these people, like, that will give you the fortitude to continue in this place until we find how to get out of there. And I do think she's going to be a pivotal part, and I think she's going to find something that everybody missed. And it is exciting to see. I also, speaking of the new characters I mean, I guess he's not new anymore. I really am liking Randall.
I really am too.
I hated Randall in the beginning. I thought he was such a jerk. I hated his actions. I hated all the like jeopardy that we got into. I hated his assholeness. But the one thing about Randall that I don't think a lot of people will give him credit for, I mean, I'm sure they would, but like so many things have happened since then. But when Jim and the bartender and the other, or when Jim was digging the hole to go save Tabitha, Randall stepped up. He went to go help Jim. Like, Randall is a dick, and Randall is kind of his own force of nature. But, like, deep down, Randall is kind of a good guy. Like, I mean, his first reaction when you're... Okay, he did some very questionable things in the beginning, but also look at the circumstances he got thrown into. Show up on a bus.
It was before that. He was dick to Elgin before all the monster stuff happened. I do think
he threw up on him.
He seemed like, I felt like he was being, I'll have to go back, but I felt like he was being a dick right before that happened. And then he like really escalated when that happened. He came off as a bit of a bully. Yeah,
100% a bully. And he's not going to take shit. Yes. That's I feel like he's not going to take shit, but he helped Boyd when Boyd needed to go save Tabitha and all them.
Mm-hmm.
He has been helping Julie, and he's not a terrible guy. He's going through his own emotional craziness.
I think he's getting a great redemption arc in this, where
I do too.
Because he did do some terrible, like the part where he abducted Donna.
Right, but hold on. And this is the only reason I'll defend Randall.
Yeah.
Come into the perspective of you're locked in this weird thing. I know, I don't agree with him, but also Jim was like, I don't know, this isn't real. Like, they're bouncing off each other.
Jim was feeding his paranoia. That was like Jim was like, you have this guy who is okay with being a bully and doing some, like, he's okay with being unliked, and then you feed him the conspiracy theories, and it is easier to believe that this is a world filled with actors that are pretending this situation is real than to believe that monsters actually exist. So I understand how he got there, but like the danger that he put everybody in is like,
no, I know, that's crazy. But like, and so like when Randall was being told all this by Donna, he's like, clearly she's got to be in on it because the word is coming from her. She's got to be in on it. We capture her. They're going to have to step in and save her. And then who's ever really behind all this is going to, like, it's going to make sense. And at that point, he never really came into contact with the monsters. He was just told that they're monsters, that they're going to do this, never really seeing what they did. And I'll give Randall a pass on that.
Yeah.
And he looks sick with his cool scar.
He does.
He's so cool.
How does he still look cool after that?
Instead
of yeah. So
he's cool looking.
So I definitely have been enjoying his redemption arc. I like that we're finally seeing Julie. I like that she's trying to figure out how the story walking thing happens, because I think that the key is, like, obviously going in the past, you can do things that are extremely important, like she did save Boyd's life in the past. You just can't change the past. So she might have to figure out some creative way to do something in the past that has always happened that can still somehow be, beneficial later on. Or the other thing is, maybe it comes down to, if you can't change the story once it's been told, does she have the ability to be part of telling the story? Can she impact the future of the story? Like, obviously she can't change the past.
Sure.
But can she be part of telling the story, writing it,
Yeah. I mean, well, first off, you were correct. We are going back to the Chromonocle. Like, that, your video that you came out with right before we started the series, don't forget the Chromonocle. Go check it out. It's a great video if you haven't watched it yet. You're right. They had to go back in for the Chromonocle. And there is so much in the Chromonocle that Julie has recognized now that she's like, these are important. We need these books. These books can tell us the path that we need to go. And I think that you were 100% right with that.
Yeah.
Maybe 98% right.
But I was about to say we definitely have there's some issues that have popped up that I don't think they deflate the whole theory, but they definitely there were a few wrong points. Like I did think that the Lake of Tears was from that book. Versus, it turns out that was something that was a story that he and Julie were telling.
Yeah.
And so it was from their imagination. That part doesn't negate the theory.
Sure.
But it does mean that there is some inaccurate information. But I do think that the overall theory still holds.
We're not perfect. We're two dummies. We're just guessing. I got the same information as everybody else. I just like to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Just like you. And we're good at it.
Oh, yeah.